Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 135 of the Bookcast, my platform for sharing short fiction and updates on life as a self-published author of Black fiction. You can find out more about me at booksbydalewhite.com. Please go to my links page, booksbydalewhite.com/link in bio. That will give you all of the important links to anything you might need to know about my books, where you can buy them, an ebook, print, audio, any other things I might have going on. I try to put on that page. So bookmark it, check it often. Link in bio is the place to be. Anyhow, welcome back to the podcast. Today is what I hope will be a quick and dirty show. I say this every week, and every week I ramble for 37 minutes. So let's see how we do today. I don't have a long list of things to talk about, but this morning I was trying to talk myself out of doing a podcast. And then I told myself, no, you need to locate your recording studio, aka the closet, and get in there and update the people on what's going on. And I say that because I do this mainly to keep myself on track. Like, all the things I say I'm going to do, I have to now do them because I said I was going to do them. So this is honestly how I bully myself into getting stuff done. So today, let's talk about books, of course, because I'm going to do anything. I'm going to read a book. I have one TV show I'm going to talk about. You already know which one it is. And then we'll talk about the first project that I am doing in 2026. So let's head on over to Goodreads and take a peek at where we are looking for the week. I am at 7 of 150. My goal is to read on 150 books in 2026. That's, of course, my initial goal. Last year, I think I got like 176. So it's a good goal, and I'm 3 books ahead currently. This week, I actually added, I think I added like 4 or 5 books to my list. My internet is moving a little slow. So this week I read Champagne Taste on a Bad Boy Budget by Zuri Day. I think I might have already read that one last week, but anyway, it's on my list. Behind These Four Walls by Yasmin Angoe. This was pretty good, a little rambly, but wanting to know what happened to the character that disappeared in this book kept me going. And also I listened to it in audio, and audio saves a lot of books for me because I don't have attention span to pay attention to a book that's moving a little too slowly for me. But audio helps because I can be distracted by other things while I'm listening. So I listened to this one while I was doing stuff like around the house and at work. It kind of kept me company as opposed to like having to like really focus on it. And then I listened to Wizard of Lies, Bernie Madoff, and the Death of Trust. This is book number 1 in the 12 Lives challenge that Dr. Raymond is doing. And a lot of us just jump on to whatever he's doing because none of us have an original thought. Anyway, he proposes a challenge to himself every year, and every year people decide whether or not they are going to join him on the challenge. Years ago, he did the Zora challenge where he read all of Zora's works and a bunch of works about Zora Neale Hurston. I think last year he did James Baldwin. I was going to try, but I struggle. I struggle with Baldwin. So I think I read like one Baldwin book and then I forgot. This year he's doing the 12 Lives Challenge, which is a challenge to read 12 biographies, not autobiographies, not memoirs, biographies, books about people written by other people. So I picked out 12 books that I think are going to be good for me. And I learned when I was doing nonfiction November that there's a certain flavor of nonfiction or biography that is going to work for me. It needs to be about scandal. It needs to be about mess. It needs to be about murder. So I'm not going to read like 12 biographies of serial killers, although that would keep my attention. But I really am all about like, mess, scandal, wrongdoing. So I picked 12 books that I would be interested in reading. I am not reading about like the 8th president of the United States. I am not reading a biography about any historical figure. I'm not even reading a biography about Barack Obama. Surprisingly, I'm not. I picked out stuff that I knew I would want to read. So we'll talk about the other books that are on that list. But book number 1 is my number 1 obsession, Bernie Madoff. And do I know the story? Yes. Did I listen to this book with rapt attention through all of it? And like I just wanted to get to the part when he went down, when he realized like, I can't do this anymore, and I know I'm gonna go to jail, but yeah, jail is better than whatever this is. So I thought it was good. I heard that the guy, his name totally escapes me, but the guy that I think worked for the SEC that kept trying to get them to investigate Madoff, he also wrote a book, but I heard that it was like kind of angry and petty and really like pointed and one-sided. And this book was more balanced and told the whole story, both from the Madoff side and the side of the investigators. So enjoyed it. And then I listened to The Wilderness by Angela Flournoy. I really, 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 really enjoyed The Turner House. And I have been waiting for a new book from Angela for quite some time. So I grabbed The Wilderness. I had it in audio. And other books just kept popping up. And I said, you know what? you got to read this book. And so I started it yesterday. I actually listened to it in like almost one sitting. I stopped it to like go to the dentist. It's very well written. It just is like, I don't feel like these women were ever happy. It's kind of sad. Like it's emotional and it's gripping and it's riveting, but it's sad. And I saw it like in the reviews after I finished it, somebody called it like sad girl fiction, which makes sense. Like the women in this book, it's about 5 women and their friendship over time, I think over the course of about 20 years. And it begins with one of the women accompanying her grandfather to Switzerland because he's going to do the death with dignity thing. But something ends up happening, and that sort of kind of sets the tone for the book. And I think like the only thing about this book is like, I am not emotionally invested in the friendship between the women really, because we don't see the beginning of the friendship. I don't know why they are friends. Only 2 of them know each other. But like as we go through the events in these women's lives, I'm just thinking, are they ever happy? Do they ever find joy? Do they ever find happiness? And like maybe that's just like a romance thing, but and it wasn't necessarily like a thing that would make me stop reading. I finished the book. It was very well written, poetic in some ways. I believe I gave it 4 stars. Love me some Angela Flournoy down. I just felt like there was no happiness in the book. There was nothing. I don't know. Do I read too much romance? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Then I moved on to Groove by Bernice McFadden, which was originally released under her pseudonym Geneva Holliday. This was a trip. This was quite obviously like an early 90s novel because there's flip phones and pay phones and all kinds of like, old black lit norms. Like none come to mind, but like this book is very early 90s. It's very Eric Drum Dickey. It's very Terry McMillan. It's very Bernice L. McFadden. It was fun. It was a trip, just an absolute trip. Like just when you think a thing is wrapped up, it is not. And I love a character that's a mess. And there's a character that is there's a couple characters in here that are a mess. A really fun book. This is book number 1 in a 2-book series, like a duology, and the next is Fever, and I have that coming up this week as well. So that's what I got read this week. I thoroughly enjoyed my reading week. All of them were in audio. I'm reading a whole lot more audio lately. I did read Kin, which I think I told y'all about last week, maybe. I don't know. Yes, I think I talked about it last week. Loved it. Give me 14 of them. I'm waiting for the audio because I want to listen to it in audio before I do my review. But simply fantastic. I love me some Tayari Jones. And also on the 13th, tickets go on sale to listen to Tayari Jones and Pearl Cleage in conversation. I'm going to be in the room. I'm so excited. That's going to be happening on, I think, February 22nd. So totally excited about that. So, TV-wise, the only thing I am really talking about right now is the Pitt. It is finally back. If you have not watched it, this is a show that is very much like 24, where every season is 1 hour of the same day. So it's like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And so we have started season 2, which is 4th of July at this ER trauma center. And it's just fantastic. I forgot about the cliffhangers. I forgot every episode ends in a cliffy. So excited about that. The Pitt is just simply good TV. It's on HBO Max. So there's that. And I got to catch up on all my other shows that have restarted since the holiday break. So I've been watching Growth Potential, High Potential, something potential, High Potential, Brilliant Minds, Watson, Will Trent. Also, I watched Will Trent this week. That was a premiere. Fantastic episode. Also a cliffhanger. Will Trent is one of the best shows on TV. So it is modeled after the Will Trent series by Karen Slaughter. And I believe that she's in the writer's room. Whoever is writing that show is supremely funny. Absolutely hysterical. Okay, not hysterical, but pretty funny. Very good show. Very excited to watch Will Trent every week now because it came back. It was Will Trent. And then what are my Thursday shows? Elsbeth and Matlock. And I'm way behind on Matlock. I haven't watched any Matlock, honestly, hardly at all since like October. I just kind of like to pile them up. And I have not watched Reasonable Doubt since like episode 2. I don't know why. I just can't start watching it. So I do love the show. I think sometimes like I hype myself up too much and I have to like calm down. And then I just know I will be in a mood to watch it. And Landman, also a show I was very excited about coming back, and I just haven't started watching them. Maybe I'm just like letting it pile up so I can binge the whole season. I don't know, but like when shows fail, I am the reason why. I will watch 2 episodes and then never watch it again. But these are shows that I love, so I will eventually watch them. But like, I don't like being held hostage by the TV. I'll watch it when I feel like it. So that's kind of what's going on TV-wise. I will dedicate some time. My TV watching night used to be Friday, so I would just pile up all my shows and then watch them back to back to back to back. So I gotta catch up and get on the ball because we are not doom scrolling. We are once again, we are not doom scrolling. We are not getting our heads stuck in cable news land. I remain as informed as I can manage to, and you got to take care of yourself, and that is 100% how I take care of myself. So one of the things that I noticed this week is that I have scheduled myself in my handy dandy planner to start pre-work for my next project. And I'm debating whether or not to really talk about it here on the podcast, but like the podcast is where I talk about things. So it's going to be called Standard of Care. I'm very proud of this title because it does a lot of work, both between my characters and basically the theme and the subject of the story. It's going to be a medical romance. I did really dive head first into medical romance. Last year, I read the Love and Scrubs series, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And I said, man, I could do with some more medical romance. And somebody, I want to say it's Lily Flowers, maybe said, hey, you could write it. And I was like, but I just wanted to read it. But it planted itself in my head. And then, of course, when that happens, I have to write it. So I've been rolling this around in my mind, and pre-work is going to begin this week on that so that I can join the 20K in 5 days challenge, which I think is coming up at the end of January. And so for me, I need to start early so I have a running start, because first of all, I want this to be a full length novel, like 65, 70, 75,000 words at the most. And I'm not going to have a lot of time to like think and ruminate and, toss ideas back and forth, because I need to get this to my editor by the end of March, I think. I still never looked to see when we agreed that I would be sending her a draft, but I need to know where I'm going when I sit down to write, which means I need to be pre-planning and do a lot of pre-work and know my characters front and back, up and down when I start writing. So, quick framework of the book, just to share. This is a very spoiler-safe, high-level, here's basically what we're talking about, and I'll be working through the details as I write it and sharing those details with you week to week on the podcast, as we do. We haven't written a book together in a while. So I'm not getting too heavy into plot, because I will absolutely say too much if I do. But I want to talk about the book at a high level and introduce the characters, mostly to like get my brain working on it. So this is a medical romance. It is not going to be, it's not going to be like a cute little novella. I wanted it to be real and grounded. Perhaps this is why I like watching The Pitt and Brilliant Minds. But anyway, so it is about what happens when responsibility, systems, and real people, real humans collide. I'm really interested in what we expect from people who work in medicine, what they are left holding when things don't go the way they're supposed to. So in this book, there is an incident in the operating room, and something happens that shouldn't have happened. And because of that, it's a domino effect that rolls through the lives of my hero and my heroine as they try to right this ship, figure out what is happening, what's real, what's not, who's on whose side, etc. So right now, I'm thinking about my pre-work. Who are my characters? My usual questions. Who are these people? Who are these people to the people in their lives? Why does that matter? What do they want? Why can't they have it? Those are the questions that I usually try to work through, and those are questions that get answered as I write the story. So reading, researching, trying to understand how hospitals function so I don't write something that feels fake. My characters are, my female lead is Harper. She works in medicine, but she is not a doctor. She's on the administrative and care side. She works closely with the patients. She cares deeply about the outcomes, and she is very close to the decisions without always being the one that has the final say. She's very competent, of course, as an administrator, she's very good at what she does, and people trust her. And that's going to come into question during the book. Harper is used to carrying responsibility and being careful, but still having to live with the consequences that don't fully belong to her. And by that, I mean, like, sometimes the decisions that she makes aren't, they aren't due to her actions. I'll say that. The thing with Harper is she has a responsibility without authority, and she is expected to carry the weight of the decisions that she makes and the authority to make them. Well, the responsibility to make them. She's Black, mid-30s. She has a very, I want to say she has a poker face, like a calm demeanor. I feel like people in medicine have to be, like, they do show some emotion, but they also have to be very stoic, very straight-faced, very straightforward. They have to pull the emotion out of a lot of situations and just state the facts, because particularly when you're in administration, you're not in a position to admit wrongdoing. Otherwise, you're going to get sued. And so that's sort of where Harper finds herself. Even when she's under pressure, she has to remain calm. She dresses for long days, professional but comfortable, practical, pulled together. Nothing flashy, but also she looks well put together. Hair is usually pulled back or controlled because her job is not going to allow for, big wild hair or a lot going on. She maintains a rather subdued appearance at work, but not plain, not mousy, more elegant. She carries herself like someone who is used to being needed, and she is always ready. Phone on her hip, contacts at the ready, that type of thing. She is a resource that people in her personal and professional life absolutely take advantage of. My male lead, his name is Cole. He is a surgeon, a very talented surgeon, and like a lot of very talented surgeons, a little bit full of himself. He doesn't have a God complex, but he's very confident in himself and his abilities, what he can and can't do, even if it's a risk. He is very respected. He is decisive. He's comfortable inside the hierarchy of the hospital, but that doesn't mean the hierarchy is comfortable with him, if you catch my drift. Cole understands systems very well. He knows how decisions get justified and how people protect themselves within those systems. Are you catching my drift? Cole's wound is emotional distance. He has learned how to compartmentalize in order to do his job. He doesn't do things out of emotion. He does things out of skill and know-how. He has to know to the bone that he can do this job. Otherwise, he is worthless in that OR. So being close to my heroine, Harper, puts a lot of pressure on that. It brings him out of his just the facts, ma'am, kind of attitude, and puts him, he's got to feel a little bit. And so that he can't stay detached forever. Cole is, of course, he's a Black man. Early to mid 40s. He is tall, but not super tall, like 6'2", not 6'4", not 6'7". I know we like our giants, but he's just going to be, average tall man, solid build. He knows where the gym is. He looks like a surgeon, but not in a TV way. Everything about him is contained. He's a very deliberate, specific person, broad shoulders, very steady on his feet, doesn't waste movement. Everything is within hand's reach for him. I don't know how that matters, but just in my mind, That's what he is. He doesn't smile easily, but when he does, it means something. I don't mean to model him at all after Peter Benton, but now Peter Benton is who comes to mind. So when you put Harper and Cole in the same room, you can see the difference in how they carry the weight of their roles in this system. They are two Black professional employees in a system that may not reflect that demographic. So that's really all I want to say about standard of care right now. I want readers to meet this story, let it unfold on the page, meet these people when they open this book. But I'm very excited to jump into it, and this will be like my first full-length project since Missing Persons, and I'm excited. I'm excited about that. So that's kind of where that's where I'm at for this week. I'm at 26 minutes, so I am not able to keep a podcast episode under 20 minutes, and that's fine. That's fine. I like to talk. So I am going to cut it off there because I have books I want to get into, and I've got stuff I need to do to get ready for tomorrow. My garbage is already out, praise, so I don't have to go outside again today. But I'm just going to enjoy my Sunday evening, get this episode edited and up for you all. Of course, it will be up Sunday evening on my Substack and Monday morning in your favorite podcast app. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. I do so enjoy bringing you these details and these episodes and sort of spilling a little bit on, inside what it's like to plan these books and bring them to fruition. If you have any questions, you can always drop a comment anywhere that allows a comment. I will see it. Or you can send me an email. It's authordl@booksbydlwhite.com. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. Once again, you can tap into booksbydlwhite.com/link in bio. You'll find links to my Substack and my website. booksbydlwhite.com/bookcast/135 is where you will find a full transcript and show notes and any useful links for today's episode. That'll do it for me. You guys have a wonderful, superlative week, and we will talk again soon. Bye-bye.